Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamlined Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. Tonight we're talking about setting expectations, and I personally think that setting expectations is huge in any type of relationship, but especially when we're talking about our relationship with our clients. And so one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to set the expectation as to when you are available. So for example, if you are available by appointment only, or if you're available on nights and weekends, or if you're available between 9 and 5, or whatever your policy is, come up with something that works for you so that you can share that with your clients and make sure that everyone is on the same page, preferably at the beginning of the relationship as opposed to later on. So one of the things that we can do when we set those expectations is if I'm going to not be available to my clients at a particular time, like let's say after 6 p.m., right? But I personally want to do some work in the evenings. For me, sometimes I have younger kids. If they're in bed and I want to get some stuff done, I might be working later in the evening. I don't want to set that expectation though with my clients that they're going to be able to reach me, whether it's via phone or email or anything else, during those hours. But I still want the flexibility to be able to work with hours that work for me. And so one of the things that I can do, and I would highly recommend to you, is to go ahead and schedule those emails to go out. So instead of going out at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whenever you're working, if you use the feature within your email program that will allow you to schedule the sending of that email, then you can go ahead and delay that email till the next morning at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or whatever time is appropriate for you. This way you accomplish both things. You can still keep those very clear boundaries and expectations, but you can also get your email work done when it's convenient for you. So I do want to hop over to the screen here and show you an example of how you can get that done. Now, if we're looking at Outlook, we do need to start that Outlook email, of course, with a new email button right there. And then we're going to click on Options here. And when we click on options, if you scroll over to the right a little bit, you should see this delay delivery button. And that's what we're looking for. We want to delay the delivery of that email that you're going to start drafting. And when you click on that button, there will be this pop-up screen. And I know the font is super tiny here. But basically it says down here, we check the box that says do not deliver before, and then we put a date and a time. Right? So then Outlook will not deliver your message until that time. And we'll go ahead and once we stick that in, the date and time in there and check that box, we'll click close on that pop-up. And then we'll go ahead and write our message as usual, and we'll hit send as usual, which to me always kind of makes my heart flutter a bit. It makes me feel like I'm sending it, but in fact, I'm not. What will happen is that message will go into your outbox and it won't be actually sent until the time that you've requested in that pop-up box. And so definitely a tool that I would recommend that you use. Now, if you are using Google or Gmail, then also, or I should say, a much easier process in my opinion. I'm going to start drafting my email here just as I would any other Gmail message. And then down here at the bottom, instead of clicking on send, because of course I don't want to send it right now, I'm going to click on this arrow and it's going to give me the option of schedule send. And when I click on that, it asks me when I want to send it. And it gives me some common times like tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, or I can click here and pick the exact date and time that I want that email to go out. So these are very easy steps that I would encourage you to use, and nice features that I think will really help us in setting those expectations with our clients. So please make sure that when you use these, though, a couple of things to keep in mind. And really, I would say the most important one is you may want to either remember when you scheduled that email or mark yourself a reminder, because if we're scheduling emails for the next morning, it may not be a big deal, right? But if I start scheduling emails a couple of days out, anticipating what might happen, and then that doesn't actually happen. So for example, if I write an email when I get off the call with a client and say, just following up on our conversation of Tuesday, and I schedule it to go out on Thursday, if I haven't heard from that client, it's going to go out, right? But here's the thing. If I do hear back from that client in the meantime, it's still going to go out unless I affirmatively go and stop that email, right? So just be careful that you do either remember I find that a little risky. I would much rather set some type of reminder to tell you, hey, this email is about to go out. Make sure you really want it to. So I think, again, scheduled emails can be really, really helpful. Just a word of caution to make sure that you're keeping track of what emails you have scheduled to go out and that they remain appropriate to send out at the time they're scheduled. So I hope this has been helpful for you. A great, great feature that allows you to support you in setting those boundaries and those expectations with your client. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Have a great evening.